We are going live. Get ready. Well, we are live. So hi folks, this is Lynn Weems coming to you from A Different Kind of Better. We are at 4:58 and we are scheduled to be live at 5. So we're a couple of minutes early. So we're just going to give people a couple of minutes to join in. So in the meantime, say hello to Jelena, who's joining us today. So bear with us. Let's give some people a couple of minutes to get online. We'll start right at 5. Okay, everybody, welcome to Live at 5 Tuesdays on A Different Kind of Better. And what is A Different Kind of Better? A different Kind of Better is a platform for wellness practitioners to come together and educate the world on a global basis on how to do things, how to feel better, have a better quality of life, and do it in a different kind of way. So what are we all about? We're all about interviewing people like our guest speaker, Jelena Solujic. I hope I pronounced that right. Yeah, was it close?
Oh, this is super close.
Good.
Thank you.
And Jelena comes to us from Toronto, where she has a med spa that does ozone therapy and some other modalities as well. She's very experienced and she has a story to tell you today. And we're going to talk about ozone therapy. But first of all, I just want to re-mention that I am donning my autism sweater, which I promised to do for my grandson who is autistic, who helps his mom make these. And a portion of the proceeds to these sweaters goes towards the autism charity. There is a drive this weekend in Toronto that is going to be raising money for that very important charity. Of course, hits home with me a little bit more than other people, but please, if you're interested, please look up Diva Fashions. I will ask my daughter Saren to post the link for you if you're interested in supporting this charity and helping them raise some funds for some important people around the world. But let's get started. So, Jelena, what can you tell us about ozone therapy and what can it do for us and people that may be suffering with some important or suffering with health issues that you can possibly help them with?
Well, ozone is very versatile. It's a gas and it's actually an enriched oxygen. I have here in the sauna room a poster that shows 99 benefits of ozone, but there are hundreds of more. I know that ozone is a little bit maybe a controversial subject to talk about because when you go on the internet, you can get scared of what you can read about ozone. But with the proper dosages, ozone does amazing things to our body. I can little bit talk for a few minutes about the history about this treatment because this is absolutely not something new on the market. And then later, maybe I can discuss the benefits that are amazing and very, very appropriate for today's momentum where we need these natural antiviral treatments.
Right. Yeah. So, I know, I've worked in the healthcare field in many different capacities for well, I won't tell you how many years, kind of will give my age away, but I'm going to tell you it's a lot of years, you know, and some of it in Western medicine in many different capacities, in admin roles as well as, you know, healthcare roles. But getting sick and then moving into the natural healthcare arena is where I've been for the last 20 plus years. And so looking at these types of things is really important, but I also know that it's really important that we understand the history and
It's
where
very
it comes from.
important. And I like the fact that, you know, I was also introduced to ozone because of my health issue. By profession, I'm an architect and graphic designer, and I worked for a good couple of decades in those professions. But then unfortunately, one of my children got sick, and that took also after a few years toll on me emotionally and physically. So I had to look into holistic treatments to help me. And one of the holistic treatment was ozone that was very beneficial for my health issues. But let's track a little bit with the history. Whatever we do here in the clinic exists from 1900s. Ozone generator was actually discovered by Nikola Tesla, the famous Serbian scientist. We are very super proud of him. I actually come from former Yugoslavia, from the Serbian part. And the whole point of this philosophy of curing is signaling the body on the cellular level to start moving and working together. So as we are getting older, the cells are depleting. So we're boosting the movement of the cells and the redox, the communication of the cells. That's what we do here. With the ozone, believe it or not, in the North America, it was popular up to 1940s. And then, of course, Big Pharma took over and wiped all of that out. Ozone is currently practiced in over 45 countries. Most of my clients that when I opened the clinic were actually Eastern European or South American because their ozone is super popular. Germany uses ozone a lot, especially all their cities' water systems are cleaned up through, the water is cleaned up through ozone. Their post-operative care, ozone is used. That's why they have the lowest post-op infections on the planet. Overall, ozone is an enriched oxygen, and oxygen and ozone are used a lot in the surgeries and in the medicine because our tissue absorbs it super well. Right now, over 45,000 physicians practice it. It does amazing stuff when it enters our body, and it's quite used nowadays even for the COVID aftercare because it really boosts up the immunity and kills the viruses, especially the SARS family of viruses where COVID comes from. So overall, everything that we do here in the clinic exists for a very, very long time. It's just that the philosophy of curing is the same. We just have much more advanced technology this time, how we apply all of this curing. But anybody should absolutely not be scared of ozone. That's something that is applied in the healthcare with the very low dosages. And because it's an enriched oxygen, how the oxygen becomes ozone. When we can even smell it in the air after the thunderstorm, because the moment the oxygen goes over the electrical current, which in this case with the thunderstorm would be lightning, we would feel then the oxygen would get the third atom. That's why when we were at school in the chemistry, chemical classes, we knew that O2 was for the oxygen, the icon, and O3 is actually for the ozone. So that extra third atom that ozone gets going as an oxygen going over the electric current enriches the oxygen, and that extra third atom, when it enters our body, does really amazing stuff.
Mm-hmm. Is there, you know, and I hope I'm okay asking questions and interrupting you.
Go ahead.
Is there scientific documentation that has sort of looked at taking a level before ozone therapy was used and then taken again after you've used it? Is there a way to know that it's actually doing what it says it's doing?
There are tons of scientific explanations, and especially now, I even posted it on our Facebook page few times during the COVID, that Ministry of Health of China, Ministry of Health of Japan, of Taiwan, they were actually allowing at this point ozone to really be practiced as a post-op care after the COVID, because there is really proved that it really helps. What happens is when ozone enters our body, it glues itself, it goes into our cardiovascular system. And how it can be done? It can be done with IV, it can be done with the usage of the ozone sauna that is actually behind me, and that's the most common and most relaxing and nicest way to actually enrich your body with oxygen while you're in the sauna. We'll talk about that later. And there is also another way how we can apply ozone into our body with the insufflation. We do it either vaginally or rectally. Those are amazing treatments. The results are phenomenal. Even for my family members who had chronic health issue, this was a huge relief. When it enters our body, often it goes through our, when you're in the sauna, the pores open up from this nice, beautiful, warm steam, and then the ozone goes into the pores and enters our cardiovascular system. It just glues itself immediately to the unhealthy radicals that shouldn't be there. So microorganisms, viruses, bacteria, mold, especially here in Canada, we have so much mold. I will talk about that later. And it kills it immediately. If you had any toxins or metals in your body, it won't be able to destroy it, but it will take it to your lymph nodes and you will sweat it out through your session. That is the main reason why I require that all clients are inside the sauna completely naked. We sit them on a nice white towel, and after a few minutes in the sauna, often they're there about 20, 30 minutes, you should see what is on that towel. The ozone really clears up such a phenomenally the cardiovascular system. Lymphatic drainage is fantastic. So on that towel, often it's like a very grayish, tarish residue, and these are all your toxins and metals. And more sauna sessions you have, more is going to come out, because it's going to go deeper and deeper and pull more out. So I warmly recommend clients to do this treatment once a month. Even if you're a healthy person, we are not aware of the exposure that we have nowadays to garbage that's floating in our air and it's inside our food. I'm a very good example of that, because during the COVID time when the clinic was actually closed, I would come here once a week for my ozone sauna session, and the towel was quite clean. The moment we opened up and I started having the regular lifestyle where I'm driving my car, when I'm exposed to the, outside, the towel was starting to show toxins. So we don't realize how much we're exposed to really lots of pollution and what actually enters our body and what it does to our body. But these regular detoxes are so important, because we would have sometimes here customer coming and being on asthma puffers, and after the second ozone session they would go off the puffer, which tells you that they never even had asthma. They were so full with toxicity that just the cells turned against each other, and when they were cleaned up and there was the circulation starting to go on again, these clients actually never experienced anymore these asthmatic side effects. So it's just the most natural way to re-energize, boost your immunity, and cleanse up your cardiovascular and muscular system.
And I don't think we have enough out there to actually cleanse. I mean, there's a lot of detox cleanses, but they're usually very invasive. Most people don't like to do it, to be honest. And
very true. They're often taste awful, and I'm really not a fan of that. As a holistic practitioner, I really don't like aggressive treatments, and I try really to teach my clients that if they have a pleasant body upkeep like this of just once a month during, for example, just the winter season, they absolutely don't need to go on any unpleasant detoxes. This is going to be more than enough for the body. It doesn't only detox, it really energizes, it calms down. What I like with the energy, for example, when you have a regular exposure to the ozone, you will never have those energy spikes through the day where you have at 2, 3 p.m. this craving for a sugar or for a coffee. That will never happen when you have a regular exposure to the ozone. Also, what I like with ozone is the calmness, because the ozone triggers our serotonin hormone in the brain, which is a calming hormone. So with the regular exposure to this ozone saunas, you start being feeling very internally calm, super focused, no brain fog. I remember when I started using the ozone sauna regularly, I started feeling so well, but I couldn't pinpoint what was the good part. Yes, the hair was good, the skin was good, the weight loss was there, but still I couldn't say what, until I realized that it was the calmness. I started having such a good internal calmness, and I started having such a positive approach to everything. Nothing was issue anymore. So ozone really covers lots of things mentally and physically, and I warmly recommend it, especially nowadays during the pandemic time.
Mhm. So you're saying once a month. Now,
I'm saying once a month for a healthy person. I do have here customers who come once a week. I do have here customers who come every second day. I'm talking about clients who are very sick. Cancer patients, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson. Those are clients who are sometimes on 10, 14 medications. Some clients are going for a very aggressive chemotherapy. So coming here and relaxing and detoxing from all that, like toxicity that the body cannot sometimes even digest properly, it's super, super important.
so is it ever contraindicated? Are there any times where someone should not be having ozone therapy?
Yes, pregnant women, people with epilepsy, and people with very high blood pressure. I do have many clients with a high blood pressure. That's not an issue because you're not in the sauna cooking like a lobster. People have to understand that this is not a treatment where you're under very high heat. This is a treatment where you should be on about 101 to 105 Fahrenheit. 101 Fahrenheit temperature, it's actually the most healthy medical temperature for a body to sweat. It's not heavy for the heart. So when you're spending on those temperature good 30 minutes, it's very pleasant. Lots of clients would even sleep through the session. So you will not have any side effects. The only side effect that this treatment might bring you is if you had really lots of toxicity coming through the skin, you would start being itchy. And then I would tell customers just have a shower, because the whole point of the ozone sauna treatment is not to shower until the next day. Since ozone is a natural antiseptic, we get out of the sauna clean as a whistle. Because for next couple of hours it continue to do what it's doing to the body, we should really stay away from the shower. That's why here in the spa we don't have any showers. But I did had once or twice clients calling me and telling me that maybe hands are itchy or legs are itchy. That tells me that there was so much toxicity that it's still left on the skin. So I just tell them to shower. And that is the reason, because of that antiseptic nature, natural antiseptic nature. That's why it's really, really good for nowadays as an antiviral treatment. I remember even when I was a little kid, my grandma would use an ozone, natural ozone quite a bit, because the moment there was a thunderstorm, she would open all the windows so the house can get that ventilation and have the ozone brought in. And she would also put from the bed the blankets and pillows on the windowsill so the ozone can kiss it. And she would actually naturally sanitize the bed sheets and then put them back on the bed. We often smell the ozone in the air after the thunderstorm. It's that refreshing, nice smell. We should really ventilate our homes as much as we can. That is the reason why here in Canada, we do have lots of cancers, asthma, allergies in the urban areas, because there is no ventilation. Body deprived of oxygen gets sick.
Yes.
So illnesses like asthma, a Nobel Prize was won for that discovery.
Yeah.
Illnesses like asthma, allergies, they thrive in the body without oxygen. In Eastern Europe, where I came 32 years ago, we didn't have air conditioner or forced air systems. We just opened windows and we ventilated. So there was complete connection with the nature and with the oxygen and all of that. Here, we are because of the cold, we are constantly in a closed environment. We don't open our windows. The buildings are built from paper. Drywall is paper, and it's an invitation for a mold. The moment you don't open the windows, you have a condensation and you have a mold.
Mhm.
When someone tells me that they have a mold in the house, I know it's a family that doesn't open windows. We have to open our windows on a daily basis and bring that oxygen into the air, and then all the mold and all these like little microorganisms living in that air, coming from the carpet, from the walls, will be destroyed.
Mhm.
And if we don't do that, then we have to come for the ozone sauna session, and then ozone does that for us.
Yeah, yeah, it's exciting to hear that there's these technologies around that can help people. And, that's where negative ionizers came from, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. But here's the thing, is it's interesting you're talking about that, because obviously this is sick building syndrome. And I've done a lot of research on that area. Only because I was so sick myself for 2 years. I really had to fight hard. So every single thing triggered me, right? And so yeah, you're right, opening the windows. But I think what's happened is, as a society, we've been taught that the air outside is worse than the air inside. I've heard a lot of people saying that to me. And so then of course, the air in their home is never getting exchanged because of this fear about the air outside. But I'm sure if there was actually, air quality testing done, and they tested the air in the home compared to the air outside, you're probably going to find out that it's actually worse indoors, because so many people, as you say, are not opening their windows.
They're not, and they're leaving the polyester carpets, and that's
Yeah.
all an invitation for asthma or allergies. But yes, I mean, here in Toronto, what I like about Toronto, yes, maybe you're right that we have a pollution in the city, but we have so many green areas. We have so many parks. So just going there and walking for half an hour through the park, you're going to get your oxygen. You're going to get all your immunity from the microorganisms coming from the trees, and that's what you're breathing, and you're getting that connection with the nature. When we were kids, we were constantly barefoot. None of us were sick because we had that grounding. We absolutely don't have that connection anymore, especially here in Canada. We're in rubber soils, we're in a closed environment. Of course that we're gonna get sick. That is the reason why I keep the ozone sauna sessions, especially because they're so popular for customers who understand them and know them on a certain price level. So they're not something that you treat yourself once a year. It's something that you can still afford to come once a month and have that regular consistency of that your body of a body upkeep, so the body constantly has that regeneration and the oxygen in there, and you will really not get sick. Even if you get a certain virus through the winter, you're going to go through that very easily. I used to get viruses, especially through the winter, and I would be maybe sick for 5-6 days. But the worst thing were coughs after that, because the moment it hits the respiratory part, we start coughing for next 6-8 weeks. If there is mucus, lots of dripping, you don't have that with ozone. So I always tell clients, if you don't feel well, that's when you come here. You absolutely cut it in the seat. And if you do it once a month, you will absolutely not get sick.
Yeah, and the other thing too is I think we need to realize that it's also an anti-aging formula. Like if
Very
your body is
anti-aging.
toxic, you will age faster. I have a lot of people say to me all the time, "Oh my gosh, how do you look like you do at your age?" Well, it's simple. I do a lot of nutrients. I'm not perfect. I cheat. I'm exposed to toxins pretty well every day. You can't avoid it. But I do a lot of things that, keep me healthier, right? And so I put my health first. It's number one on my list, because without your health, you have nothing.
Nothing. None of the plans will come through. That's for
Right.
sure. And No, that's the only way, especially for us women. Most of my clients are women who just forgot about themselves. Family life can be very stressful, careers. So during their 20s, 30s, 40s, they think they're this Wonder Women, and whatever plans for their life they had, they try to accomplish it. And then when they hit the end of 40s and early 50s, it takes still. We start seeing autoimmune diseases. We start seeing lots of stress. Issues, and we don't realize that we just forgot about ourselves, and we have to find time. We have to be healthy, and the easiest way to be is really be exposed to nature as much as we can. And now, considering that we are mostly working from home, just organize that, you can spend 20-30 minutes in a park walking. That will already do lots of things. The absorption for us is very important. When you come for these sessions and you detox your body, everything is going to absorb better. We don't realize, everybody talks about supplements and vitamins and being healthy, but people don't realize that whatever you put, if it doesn't absorb, what is the point? Just money down the drain. But when you come for these sessions and you're properly cleaned, and everything that you put in your body, the food, the vitamins, the medication, it's going to work. It's going to be absorbed properly.
Yes. You're not what you eat, you're what you absorb.
Absolutely. I remember I always take myself as an example. I was showing for years vitamin D deficiency. Even the fact that I was taking 3,000 to 5,000 IUD per day. And for a middle-aged woman, that was really not healthy to be so vitamin D deficient. The moment I went on electrolytes and minerals, everything was over. I just didn't have the absorption. Yeah. The cell wasn't fed properly. We have to have certain amount of minerals and electrolytes in our cell, because the cell will not have energy to absorb and suck anything that we put in our body. So we have to educate yourself just a little bit wider, like generally, so we can understand how the whole holistic approach works. And if we don't have that consistency, that is the problem with my generation. And that is the reason why I like millennials a lot, because they're much more holistic. We were popping pills like crazy for last 2-3 decades because we wanted to have the comfort of taking a pill and feel better. We didn't have time for a consistent, healthy life. Now millennials are turning that around, and they're really investing more in themselves. And I can see here young people coming, not only young sick people, but young healthy people coming as a prevention. And I really like what I see, because they do understand that consistency is the most important thing if you are going to start living holistically. And then you will have phenomenal results.
Yes, absolutely. 100% agree with you there. So, so how long does treatment take?
The treatment takes about an hour. You're a good half an hour in the sauna. And after that, we always take you to the relaxation room, and we put you on the pulse electromagnetic field mat. That's a little diamond of equipment that we have here by itself. It's a magnetic therapy that actually, just to streamline it, it just signals all the cells to start moving around, to communicate, to work together, and that's how you repair and regenerate and cure your body by itself.
Now, is that included in the price?
That's included. It's always part of the protocol. I would never do an ozone sauna session without client going on the mat. The mat really cools them down, brings them back. The mat deals with about 200 different health issues. So after about 16-20 minutes, a relaxation program on the mat, when they're cooled down and balanced back after being exposed to the heat, everybody has some health issues. I would put them then on a couple of programs that are tackling that health issue. But always the protocol is the same: ozone sauna and then the mat, so a good hour being here in the clinic. Yeah.
Wow, Jelena, it sounds so tempting. I'm definitely going to come see you when I'm in Toronto next.
I have tons of clients coming all around Ontario. When I opened the business, I was hopeful I can close Sundays, but that's absolutely out of question, because Saturday and Sundays are mostly clients coming from Waterloo, from Ottawa. There are not many of us doing this, and it's so beneficial for some people who are quite sick that they do drive. I warmly recommend it. I'm absolutely addicted to it just because of the calmness. I go in there once a week. I know that they don't look my age. I know what it did for me, and I love the fact. I find this very rewarding because everybody who uses this treatment loves it and feels the benefits. So I
Yeah.
warmly recommend it to try it through the winter, especially through the winter months.
Definitely. So first of all, I want to say thank you so much for coming on and, letting our viewers know what's available to them. I know a lot of our viewers may not be in the Toronto area, and I'm sure you could help them possibly find somebody local to them if it's, they don't have vehicles or something. You should definitely post your information in the comment section below so that our viewers can reach you. And also, just so you know, folks that are watching this now and in the future, please, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. Jelena, I'm sure we'll get back to you with any answers or any information that you may need. We're willing to let you touch base with either one of us. If Jelena doesn't see it, I'll make sure that she gets the message as well. So thank you for taking time out of your day to come in and learn about something that can help so many people. We ask that you share this video. Share this with so many of your friends, because trust me, you will be doing them a kindness, helping people to change the quality of their life, helping people to not age as fast, helping people to hopefully detox, get rid of some of this cellular toxicity that actually changes your life. It really does make you feel tired, and it can affect so many things. Hormones can make you get sicker a lot faster. You can pick up things more frequently if you're not balanced, right? If you're not getting the minerals and the vitamins that you need. So this is a way that you can help yourself for actually a really good price range. I've seen your price ranges, and if you want to tell the customers, you can.
Yeah. First of all, with the customers, they're absolutely welcome to even call me over the phone. I really like spending time giving advices regarding ozone, and I work only one-on-one. So when the customer comes, I'm with them hour and a half, and I absolutely give them, I run my business very transparently and openly, so that they will get absolutely for their health issue all the information that they need. The treatments are right now about $65, $65 for one, and I think 3 or 60 each. I keep that price often through the winter because that's something that clients love, and then they do come once a month. And I do have lots of couples and families coming together, so they're welcome to do so. I love talking about ozone. I love sharing my experience with everybody, and everybody are absolutely welcome to call me anytime.
Yeah, you can tell that you love what you do. And I know that that's because you see what it does for people.
It's so rewarding.
Yeah,
So
I tell people every day how I love what I do. I get to do what I do every day. I love what I do every day. And it's so important, right? To have that passion, to know that you're helping others. So thank you so much for coming in. So share that. Just one quick thing for people that are wellness practitioners watching this, please note that this is a member-based community. It allows you, starting at $20 per year, allows you to get your modality out there, allows you to teach other people what it is that you do. We are all about getting as many people to find a way that's right for them to feel better on a daily basis. So please take a look at us, go to a different kind of better.com, click on, I think it's join now button, and it will give you all the different things that you can become involved in. If you're one of those people like Jelena who loves to teach and talk about what you do, this is an opportunity for you to do this on this platform. We do this every Tuesday at 5. And you can do blogging and all kinds of things. We know that right now, visibility for small business has become very complicated with new algorithms that are out there. This is a way for you to be seen for a very, very reasonable rate that helps us keep the platform fees looked after, our IT person looked after. That's really all it's about. So take care. Have a great weekend. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Take care and bye for now. Thanks so much, Jelena.
Thank you for inviting me.
You're so welcome. Bye-bye.